Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, we finally have proof that Kate Middleton is safe and sound. Or do we?
Also, there's too many men on Wikipedia and more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I don't know if you saw this havoc in the country of Ethiopia over the weekend. That they're still trying to piece things back together after the biggest bank in Ethiopia experienced a glitch that allowed people to withdraw money or transfer money, and it didn't affect their account. This big bank in Ethiopia is now down $40 million.
Well, that's no good for them. But that's great for everybody else.
Yeah, that's right. I imagine people, just the scene at some of the ATMs, what it must have been like on Saturday when this occurred. They said it took several hours for them to identify the issue and be able to freeze transactions so that they'd stop losing money. But that was already too late. $40 million had been moved out with them, I guess, not really exactly a good way to track it. And so the people can just have their money. You know what I mean? Because they can't prove who did and who didn't go through this whole thing. And so then it makes me wonder, let's think about how good of people we are. If you noticed this was going on, or if everybody was buzzing in the somebody's like, you got to go to the bank. They're letting people withdraw money for free. How much would you withdraw? How much would you feel okay taking out?
I know that I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it no matter what.
I wouldn't do it no matter what. I know that I wouldn't do it because, in the past, anytime that there's been a glitch, it's never been something that stood true.
It's never always come back to bite you.
You've never gotten to keep the money.
Yeah, you don't get off scot-free.
No, so I would say I wouldn't. I know that I wouldn't go. I know that I wouldn't withdraw it. Even if other people did it, I know that I wouldn't do it.
Is that because you're good or because you're scared?
I would say it's a mixture of both.
See, I think about this, right?
I know that you would go.
Oh, yeah.
I know you would go.
Definitely. I'm that type of guy.
You're looking for every hack for money that I can even imagine.
Oh, yeah. Every little loophole. I'm hustling. I'm a hustler. That's what I do. And so, but here's what I'm thinking. That I wouldn't go. It'd be silly to go and withdraw thousands of dollars, maybe more than you even have. That'd be a silly thing to do.
What are you going to do? Withdraw $10 and be like, whoa, look at me.
Yeah, I think you got to find the level of, if I ever have to pay this would be nice to have as a little bonus, a little free money for HUD. But also, if I have to pay this back one day, it's not going to kill me. So probably a couple $100. It's probably where
we'd be missing out.
Yeah.
All of our buddies millionaires.
I know, that's right.
And I'd feel like an idiot.
Yeah. Think about $40 million in just a few hours. So people were banking this. They were going wild with it.
And you got to think too, for those people, even if the government said you got to give this back, as long as you don't spend it immediately, you could give it back. But now they're in a great spot where they're just millionaires now.
That's right.
Unbelievable. I need to move to Ethiopia for mistakes like this.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, RadioU.
Big news in the world of game shows yesterday. Mr. Beast, don't know if you've heard of him. Pretty big star, pretty big name.
Familiar.
The biggest YouTuber in the world. He announced a deal with Amazon. He's teaming up to put a show on Prime Video. It's going to be a new game show. They say it's going to be fast-paced and high production. 1,000 contestants. And the winner will receive a cash prize of $5 million.
Sign me up.
Yeah, that is the biggest cash prize, the biggest prize for any game show in the United States, possibly in the world, but it's definitely the biggest. It surpasses the previous biggest payout, which is from, you may remember this, Netflix's Squid Game: The Challenge, which oddly offered you've seen the show, right? Squid, $4.56 million. Is that a tie-in to something that happens in the actual Squid Game?
4, 5, 6?
Yeah.
Possibly. That could have been somebody's number.
Yeah, I've never seen Squid Game. This might be too intense for me. But Mr. Beast, I feel like this is more accessible to me. less of a show based off of people dying, but $5 million, that's a crazy prize. And to air it on Prime Video, it's also massive news.
Yeah, don't you wish that this was being aired on like CBS on normal TV?
Why do you say that?
Because it just feels more game show-esque. It's for all the game shows that I watch. I'm not used to going to a streaming service to watch a game show.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch Deal or No Deal on cable television.
Actually, that's a good point. That I don't seek out game shows. And when you're streaming, by definition, you don't like accidentally wind up streaming something.
Never.
You're looking through a list of things, and it's hard for. I know people are going to watch this because it's Mr. Beast. People love Mr. Beast, but it is true that if this was on just regular TV, I was like, well, I don't really know what's coming on after the football game, the basketball game. Oh, it's Mr. Beast. Okay, I'll stick around for that. But
give it a shot.
Yeah, I'll see. Maybe I get hooked. But the idea that I'm going to go find this on Prime Video, which the funny thing is, just about probably as many people have Prime Video as CBS. Like if you've got Prime, people got Prime. But are you really going to go look for this unless you're a big Mr. Beast fan? Which again, there's many out there. But it's not the type of thing that I'm going to go looking for.
Because that's the part of it too. Is like when you were on like regular television, it was so easy to move off of a game show. You could start America's Got Talent and watch one contestant, and you could either get hooked because you flipped onto it and you were like, oh, she was good. Yeah. Let's watch another. And then everyone in the room was like, maybe we watch another. Or if they weren't so good and you weren't so much feeling it, you could easily just flip the channel. But when you decide that you're going to watch a show on Amazon Prime, that feels like a commitment. Yeah. You have to get through the whole game show. Yep. And who is ready to commit to an entire game show episode before you even know if you're going to like it or not? Yeah. I need to watch 5 seconds of The Masked Singer to get to know if I want to watch the next person go up or not.
Yeah. Before you know if the format is even something you're interested in.
Exactly.
Where if you start this Mr. Beast show, this Mr. Beast game show on Prime Video, every time you log into Prime Video, what's going to be there taunting you? Mr. Beast and that smile being like, you only watched 5 minutes and got bored. Don't you want to tune back in? And you're going to be like, no. That's probably what I would do. But it is the $5 million. That's hard to deny that is quite an impressive prize, the biggest prize in game show history. All the other details still under wraps, but Mr. Beast working on a game show for Prime Video coming soon.
Hudson is the maple syrup, and Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Here's something I believe, Isaiah. I believe that if you're a cheater, the more apps you have on your phone, the more likely you are to get caught cheating. And I don't just mean dating apps and messaging apps, because that's just obvious. But I've got a woman here who recently shared how she discovered that her husband was cheating on her in a very non-conventional way. She discovered that he was cheating on her with his fitness app.
Exercising without her?
He was exercising without her. He, the way she tells it, she says that he would routinely go out on like runs after he got home from work and stuff like that. He would go out on runs, but she wasn't invited, which is that's a red flag right there, right?
He likes to run by himself.
Yeah. And he can't have her slowing him down. So he was running. She wasn't invited on these runs. And so that raised suspicions because it's like, why would you not let her go with you? And they both happen to have the Strava fitness app, which tracks your runs. What she discovered in following him after doing a little snooping, really just looking at his profile on Strava, is that when he went on these afternoon runs, they would routinely be about the same length of time, and they'd all end in the same spot at this one house that she determined was the house of the woman that he was cheating with.
So how did she get to the bottom of this?
She looked at his app. She found out who was at this house. I guess she questioned him about it. You never invite me. and then you always go to the same route to the same place, the same destination where your run suspiciously stops.
For how long is this run stopping for?
Oh, yeah. But this guy, this is why I'm saying, if you're a no good, dirty, rotten cheater,
cheater.
You can't have all these apps on your phone. You're just asking to get caught. Everything is tracking you.
Don't help them. You should have more apps.
Yeah, if you're a no good, dirty, rotten cheater, get all the apps. Get all the apps. You deserve to get caught.
You do.
I'm just telling you. You don't realize. Some people are like, oh, if I have all these apps, what do I care? Facebook and Instagram have all this info on me.
Tracking me.
Yeah.
Ask the app not to track.
It's not Facebook and Instagram that you need to worry about. It's your significant other. They will find out. You can't have it this way.
Yeah, I would say for this guy, big no-no.
Mm-hmm.
And like the fact that you're able to, if you're cheating on your wife and you're able to run to the other woman's house, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? So in my mind, it's a bad look for this guy. But props to her.
Yeah.
That's an incredible way to figure it out.
I'm glad that she was able to sleuth it out and she didn't have to stay in this this unfaithful relationship.
Isn't it funny that like she was so... You got to know that if you're so suspicious of your husband going on runs, then maybe you guys just shouldn't be together.
Yeah. Well, she was suspicious for good reason.
But I mean, she was 100%.
Yeah.
But it's just wild. Like if I told my girlfriend I'm going to go on a run every day, that shouldn't be like cause for concern. He goes on the same run every day and goes the same route.
Yeah.
That's what people normally do.
Lots of people do that. Yeah.
Every day they go on a run and they go the same route. But this guy here, not trustworthy.
No. Yeah. That's to say the least.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
This sounds really nice. That kitten season is coming early this year.
Oh, kitten season.
Yeah, you know what kitten season is.
I know what kitten season is.
What's kitten season?
Kitten season, that's when you start calling your girlfriend kitten.
There's a whole season for that?
I think so.
Are you going to do that?
In the springtime, that's when you do it every year.
And then when do you cut it off?
The summer.
Summertime, you cut it off.
Well, today's the first day of spring.
Is it?
I believe so.
So today's the first day of kitten season for you.
Makes sense. It adds up. I mean, that's what you're telling me.
Normally the spring starts on the 21st, so it is coming early. That is not...
It says first day of spring is today.
Yeah.
Tuesday, March 19th. Here we go.
Well, that is not what kitten season... That's not the kitten season I'm referring to.
Oh.
Anyways. But I do like that. Kitten season, it's much more straightforward. It is when cats, typically, they tend to reproduce the most. The female cats go into heat more into the summertime. You're talking like April or even May through probably like September when it's warmer. But what experts are noting here is that more and more it seems that kitten season is beginning earlier. The female cats are going into heat more often earlier in the year, which means more cats than people know what to do with earlier on. And it sounds like here that many shelters are expecting to be overwhelmed because there's just more cats being born and born on a different schedule than they are accustomed to, which is a lot to handle.
A lot of kittens rolling around, you're saying.
Yes. So it's now it sounds real nice, kitten season. It may actually not be the blessing that it seems.
Have you ever had a kitten?
Yes.
Did you like it?
It was kind of fun. Kittens are more fun than like a grown-up cat because kittens actually do stuff. You know, they're
playful.
Yeah. But then you get an adult cat, once it hits maturity, just kind of lays around.
Very comfy.
Not much to interact with.
See, we had a litter of kittens once out at my parents' house, outside cats, of course, and there was like 12 of them just roaming around. And they didn't really feel like they were, I mean, they lived in the barn, they were barn cats, and yet again, there was like 12 of them. And then my parents said, we've probably had them there for like a couple weeks, sent them all to a farm. I never had a kitten. It felt like I never even had them in the first place.
That's too bad.
It was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But also they were everywhere, so I can understand why this kitten season an issue. They're just, you can't keep track of them.
Yeah.
There's too many. They're too small. It's too much going on.
Yeah. What is being warned about is not only that shelters where people are bringing in stray cats that they find all these kittens. That is going to be one issue, but more so if cats continue to reproduce at kind of bigger levels than we're accustomed to.
Too many cats.
Yeah. And the problem is cats, and we've seen this on some like island nations and stuff like that, is that cats are an apex predator. Nothing really kills them naturally. And so then they are taking out all the birds like you've got all these stray cats and and it says that one individual like pair of cats in 7 years can reproduce hundreds like in their family tree.
We're being taken over.
Yeah. So the cats.
By the grumpiest animal.
That's right. Yeah. They have no mercy. And so we could be in different, obviously this isn't going to just be the country overrun by cats.
Wouldn't that be awesome though, kind of?
Different sections of the country.
If there were just cats everywhere, just roaming. It feels like there is kind of right now, but they're just everywhere. That would be epic.
It would be one of the cuter ways to go down, is just that cats are just domestic house cats are the thing that causes an end to us all somehow.
It takes us all over. I think this just shows that for our cat friends out here, for people that love cats, you need to get some more.
That's right.
And there's nothing cat people love more than just having more cats.
Yeah. Because once you have one, the difference between 1 and 8 is not really
difference.
large. So go ahead. We're calling on you, cat people, to adopt as many as you can, because kitten season came early.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
You believe this is true, Isaiah? That Wikipedia is too manly?
I can't believe it.
That's what a new study claims. Out of Europe, researchers combed through the many, many, many articles on Wikipedia, the many people who edit Wikipedia, and what they found was a strong male bias. There are way more articles about male figures than women figures. There's also more, and these could go hand in hand. The people who edit Wikipedia tend to be more likely to be men than be women, which feeds into possibly the idea that there's more articles about men than there are about women. And this is being considered possibly a negative.
Well, did the ladies like Wikipedia?
Does
that seem like something that they like?
That's what I was thinking.
I get on Wikipedia all the time.
Yeah. I'm sure that women get on Wikipedia frequently to look at things, to research. But to me, I think there's two reasonable explanations for why men tend to dominate Wikipedia. Because I think men are more likely to not have a life and just sit there and edit Wikipedia pages more than women. I think that's, or if you, whether you're a man or a woman, you don't have a life, and you're less likely to waste the time you have, the precious time you have editing Wikipedia articles if you're a lady. I think you've got better things to waste your life with. And for us guys, that's just, I would not edit Wikipedia, but it feels like more of a guy thing. And that's a compliment to women, is what that is.
I also have a theory.
Okay.
I like this one. I think that men have no humbleness to them.
Okay.
So I think every so-called expert that's online is like, I know more than the most people, so I'll just go ahead and edit Wikipedia.
Well, actually.
Yeah, let me just help you out here. Put my input in. Where women, on the other hand, they're a little bit more humble than us fellows.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, why would I think that I should edit this Wikipedia page if I don't feel like I'm the most knowledgeable?
Yeah.
Where men always think they're the most knowledgeable. Therefore, if they don't put their input into Wikipedia, they're doing a disservice to the world by them not putting their mind out there, their words out there, where women, on the other hand, don't have that obnoxious level of confidence that sometimes men do. I think that could be a big issue there.
Yeah, I think
that's why you can't trust Wikipedia either.
That's meaningful as well. And yeah, guys are just out here mansplaining every single topic on Wikipedia. And then the fact that there's more articles about men, I wonder if that holds true for, like, as you go through time, because obviously if you go back in history, the people that were recording history were men, and they were talking about men. So just there's a
Where did they get off?
Yeah, that's right. Like,
jeez, we thought we were this important for this long. It's honestly unbelievable.
In Attila the Hun's days, I don't think there was a lot of records written about women. It was probably just mostly all the guys, all the warriors that were out there warrioring and dominating the women. And that was, they weren't keeping track as much in their history books that they were recording. And so there's not a whole heck of a lot we can do about that now. But going forward, we can definitely write more articles about women. But I'm calling on us as men. Well, what can we do to help this? We got to stop editing Wikipedia.
But there's all the guys that are editing Wikipedia pages aren't listening because they're like, no, I have to. Like, people need to know what I think.
That's most men, but for me, I actually know what I'm talking about, and so I need to edit it. Yeah.
That's you idiots. Yeah, you guys shouldn't be editing. But me, on the other hand, I need to. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't need to. Stop it.
Yeah, let's take it easy. But I'm not going to tell women to edit Wikipedia more. I'm just not going to do that.
Hey, get in there, edit it up.
No, it's not a valuable use of your time. There's better things you can be doing.
Yeah, what are people doing editing that? The people who are editing that aren't going to stop, no matter what.
It's one thing to edit the Wikipedia page of Britney Spears or Taylor Swift or Attila the Hun. It's another thing for all of the other many, many, many Wikipedia pages that don't need to be edited, and just leave those alone. I'm not going to tell you to edit those. There's so many that can just stand the way they are. For
I don't even know how to edit them. I don't even know how I would even go about doing that.
I don't either, and that I consider that a positive trait.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
Isaiah, you may remember last year a movie came out called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's a horror movie starring Winnie the Pooh and Piglet as the killers.
I am familiar with this, yes.
It cleaned up at the awards, the Razzie Awards for the worst movie. And we already knew that it was already planning a sequel, but now it seems that it's not going to stop there. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is getting its own. They're calling it the Pooniverse.
The what you now?
The Pooh-niverse. Like Winnie the Pooh. What did he say? That's going to feature many other public domain children's characters all joining forces in a horror movie universe, very reminiscent of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the DC Extended Universe, and so on and so forth. So you're going to get other creatures like Bambi, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Tigger, and more that will all show up. And the Bambi is at the forefront here. Very frightening. It's all going to be happening. They say the makers of the movie 2025, a year from now, you can expect a whole Winnie the Pooh horror universe.
That's exciting. I mean, 6 years after Avengers Infinity War, another film is vying to become the most ambitious crossover event in history.
It is
this
ambitious.
Time in a little bit of a lower budget cinematic realm.
Yeah.
I mean, where Avengers Infinity War obviously had Iron Man, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Thanos. The Pooniverse team up Winnie the Pooh, Bambi, Tinkerbell, Pinocchio. Bigger names here. Peter Pan.
That's right. These are
Tigger,
household names.
Piglet, the Mad Hatter. I mean, when you compare them side by side here, even though this is a little bit lower budget film here, you can't argue the names.
The name value. This is how you open a picture with characters like this. Now, I have concern. I guess, they're only pouring so much money into this. It's very low budget. So maybe they're not afraid to lose a few bucks. But at the same time, I feel like they're really overestimating the audience for something like this just because of the horror aspect. But then again, if you brought all these characters together for anything that wasn't horror, I don't know if it just would be something that people would gravitate towards either, if it's not Disney related.
Well, they messed up the name.
Yeah, Pooniverse.
Pooniverse is horrible.
Yeah, no
They
good.
should have went with like Fractured Fairy Tales or something like that.
Oh, clever.
Now I'm already more interested.
They might take that. They've already taken all these classic characters. They might take that idea from you as well.
Well, you got to think the golden age of superheroes is starting to fade. But that's when the Pooniverse comes to save you.
The Hollywood executives are wondering what's next. What's next is the Pooniverse. the horror universe with fairy tale characters we all know and love, but we're not going to love them anymore.
Many people thinking maybe the PCU,
the PCU,
the Pooh Cinematic Universe.
I guess, yeah, that could be it. You just mark your calendars, 2025. If this is something you're looking forward to, you only have to wait a year.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
We've got another conspiracy theory on The Riot. This one, a repeat offender.
Uh-oh.
She's back in the news.
There's some validity to it.
Exactly. She's back in the news. Kate Middleton.
I don't think she ever left the news.
No, the center of yet another conspiracy theory this morning. If we remember back to just a short few weeks ago, there was a picture that popped up of Kate Middleton and her children that people were saying was photoshopped, which usually wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Celebrities Photoshop pictures all the time. But Kate Middleton has not been seen in a very long time. People wondering, where is Kate? And so when she posted that Photoshop picture of her with her kids, started raising alarm bells.
Yeah.
So today, TMC, or over the weekend, they put out a video saying Kate Middleton seemed to be in good spirits while out and about with Prince William on Saturday.
Okay, I saw the video.
They were shopping around. Everyone's like, oh, thank goodness.
They put my concerns at ease.
Kate back in the news. Here she is. But people stating it would be good news if it was really Kate.
Uh-oh.
But they are claiming that this is not Kate Middleton, but a stunt double.
What?
Causing more controversy. Some of the claims, they say this stunt double of Kate, much shorter. All the pictures of the Prince and Kate Middleton, they are nearly the same height. Prince William probably has like an inch on her.
Okay.
This woman, I mean, she's coming up to his chin. A whole head taller.
Maybe it's just perspective.
Could be the angle.
She's further away.
You know what? It could be the angle.
That wouldn't feed the conspiracy.
But let me give you this then.
Okay.
If you believe it's just the angle.
I'm skeptical of that.
How about this? Thankfully, this stunt double did have her hair pushed behind her ear when making this stroll.
Of course.
With Prince William.
Just as Kate Middleton would.
Precisely. And people saying the ear shape of this woman completely different.
How close up is this video? I've seen it. How could you see her ears that well to know?
Kate with a very round ear, where this new, not Kate, a very pointed ear. And I will tell you, for someone that hasn't really bought into this conspiracy theory, I mean, the ears are, this is where they get them.
Questionable ears, you're saying.
I mean, even as someone who's not so keen into looking into this, this is even making me ring some alarm bells here. These ears.
I don't know. It's pretty blurry. I'm seeing this now. I don't know. Feels like a stretch. But you understand, we are, some could say, through the looking glass now. That like we can't believe anything. We can't believe anything that is sent out, even from TMZ. Normally, TMZ, Isaiah, would you agree, very truthful?
Always.
They would call into their entire credibility into question if they didn't get this right. So, where are we? Who can we be left to trust if not TMZ?
So at this point here, so many things wrong with this. It's a blurry video. Height wrong. Many people saying the style. Kate would never wear this clothing. Face, ears, hair wrong. Seems as if Kate Middleton may have been spotted, but maybe not.
Or may not. Has anybody even mentioned also the idea that maybe this whole video is just AI generated?
Could be.
That could explain why it's off, but it also wouldn't alleviate any concerns, would it?
And so
AI getting pretty advanced nowadays.
You got to wonder why they're even doing all this. Why are they even trying? If they knew the last thing they put out to the public, which was the photo of Kate that was ran through because of the photoshopping. Now they're attempting a video with a stunt double.
Yeah.
What are they thinking?
They're trying something even more difficult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to get picked apart.
Yeah. So it must be real. I have no doubts.
We only have one question. Where is Kate?
Yeah.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
The Miami Beach was trying to crack down. It sounded like they didn't want spring. It didn't sound like it. They didn't want spring breakers. And so now that we've been going through spring break here, we've got an update. And that is that over the weekend, the Miami Beach police wound up making more than 250 arrests of spring breakers.
I can't tell if that's high or low.
It sounds high, right?
It sounds high to me, but I'm like, Miami spring break. Is this a typical spring break? Is this like a slow? Is this a lot?
Well, I'll tell you that in years past, you just go back to last year, I believe they made over 500 arrests.
We're doing better.
But then I'm questioning because if they have less spring break arrests this year, is that because less people are coming? Or because you expect they tightened the rules, they made things more stringent, you think they might have more arrests if the same amount of people or even close showed up. So do people just not even go?
Or maybe people are there and they were bluffing.
They behaved.
They haven't tightened things up.
Yeah.
They were totally bluffing. They've loosened the rules.
Uh-huh.
And maybe people have started behaving. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I've got videos that you can watch that are of people getting arrested at spring break in Miami Beach. It doesn't look like people were behaving. I'll tell you that.
At least the ones getting arrested were.
Yeah, well, shockingly. And I'll tell you, too, that it was enough of an issue that in addition to the more strict rules that Miami Beach put into effect, they also, this past Friday night, put in a curfew starting at 11:59 p.m. on Friday, and it ran through 6 a.m. yesterday morning, which many local businesses were actually upset about because they feel that it took away business from them. So it really is a big difficulty for Miami Beach trying to strike this balance of, obviously, spring breakers can be a lot of income. It can also be a whole lot of hassle and trouble that they don't want to deal with.
And what I'm also noticing from these videos, this does not look, and I think this is a recurring theme here on these spring breaks, these do not look like college students.
Oh, yeah?
I think the part of the issue with this whole spring break thing, I think a lot of the people that are being arrested here aren't even college students on spring break.
Yeah.
I think these could just be troublemakers that are on spring break.
Yeah.
I didn't know that adults could take a spring break. We don't have one here at Radio U.
No, yeah, we don't.
But what are these 35-year-olds doing getting arrested, hanging out with college kids? These are red flags
They
to me.
just want to feel young again.
I guess so. You had to give it up at some point, brother.
A midlife crisis. But if you find yourself, some might say if you're an adult at spring break, some might say that you're living your best life, but others would say, no, you got to give it up. You're being like, what are you doing?
Well, if you
got to move on. You got to be a grown-up one day.
There's two different categories.
Yeah.
If you and I went on a spring break, we could behave and be good and we wouldn't get arrested.
That's right.
That's adults doing spring break the right way.
Yeah.
If you go on spring break as an adult and get arrested, now you're an idiot.
And you're behaving worse than the
college students.
20-year-old college students. Yeah.
What are you doing? So if you can be an adult who goes on a spring break, but you can't get arrested, that's where we draw the line. Once you get arrested, now you're ridiculous.
Now it's just sad.
Now you're trouble.
Doing.
Yeah.
So would you consider Miami Beach's effort to curb spring break trouble a success at this point?
Well, they're down 50%.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big jump for Miami Beach.
But spring break may not be over yet. There could be more coming
you're
this weekend.
Right.
You don't know.
That's true. There's still time left. We haven't even considered.
Right.
I mean, today's the first day of spring. It's only March 19th. We haven't even made it to April yet.
We'll see. There's still lots of trouble that possibly could be made.
You don't always have to agree with Isaiah to always disagree with Hudson. The Riot. Radio U.
This is a segment called Our 2 Cents, where unlike the rest of the show, Isaiah and I actually get to share our opinions, our likes and dislikes on whatever we want to. Without further ado, this is Our 2 Cents.
My first one. And not only is this my first one, it is also the first day of spring. And with the first day of spring rolling around, even though for many people in the US of A, it might not feel like spring yet, that makes me hopeful because it gives me so many great things to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not only, and if we do know there's one thing I love is looking forward to things.
Yeah.
These things being March Madness, which is already upon us.
Yeah.
Memorial Day, right around the corner.
Uh-huh.
Golf being outside on the weekends.
Oh, yeah.
The NBA
Masters.
playoffs.
Uh-huh.
Everything. And so all the happy
Cinco
things.
de Mayo.
Precisely. All the happy things that come with spring are all upon us. By the time the March Madness kicks off this Thursday, it's going to make the weeks fly by so fast. Before you know it, it'll be summertime. I am in a grand mood this morning in the first day of spring.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Something uncommon happened to me last night. I got to cook dinner. Normally, Angela is in charge of making the food, and that is her choice, not mine. I mean, she's a good cook. She is a good cook. I'm not going to complain, but I fancy myself as a little bit of a chef as well. But I rarely get to flex my muscles in the kitchen. However, there is one thing that Angela lets me cook, and that is cheesesteak. And so last night, I whipped us up a round of cheesesteaks. They turned out great. And it's just fun to get into the kitchen and cook something that only takes like 5 minutes too. Super, super easy, super quick. I like it.
I got 3 words for you. You like that?
One thing I don't like, my dog Jim, he has been sleeping horribly the past couple nights. And there's a reason for it. And it'll end on Wednesday. He has been running through beds recently.
Oh, yeah.
We got him his first bed for Christmas this year. So we got him, I'd say it was a couple months ago, I got him his first bed because before that he wasn't deserving of a bed. He behaved so badly. Yeah. But now he finally got a bed. He loves the beds, but he went through the first one, broke it.
Yeah.
Second one rolls around that my girl E buys for him. He's way too big for it. So we have to return that bed. And so right now we're in a point where he's bedless. And in just a short couple months, he has become so accustomed to having a bed that now he can't sleep without it. And so he's been sleeping in his crate at night, not like locked up or anything, but that's where he goes to sleep. The door's open.
Yeah.
And he thrashes in the crate with like the couple blankets that are in there, thrashes dramatically because he can't get comfy in there. He's been staying up large portions of the night, milling around, ruining my sleep. Thankfully, he does have a bed coming on the way that's supposed to arrive on Wednesday, but I went through last night. He did not sleep well. I know tonight is going to be a nightmare of sleep for Jim yet again. And so I am looking forward to his bed being here on Wednesday, but I do not like the way my dog is sleeping right now. I always hated it.
That's funny you mentioned that because I have a sleep-related 2 cents as well. And it starts as a dislike. This goes back several weeks, possibly months. I got into the routine of somehow in the middle of the night, I would wake up 2 hours before I actually needed to wake up. And then I'd be awake for an hour. It was almost, you could count on it. You could book it. I'd be awake for an hour, then I'd go back to sleep, and I'd have another hour. Then the time change came along. And now that moved it so that I was waking up an hour before I needed to wake up, staying awake for an hour, and then my alarm would go off. You can't have that. And so I recently discovered I was looking up tricks to try to get myself back to sleep quicker in the middle of the night, because this isn't sustainable. And I found one that seemed to work. And that is listening to a podcast or audiobook that you've already listened to and listen to it on 80% speed. And that's soothing. It slows down your thoughts. It calms your mind and puts you back to sleep. And so I recommend, if you're having a similar issue as I am, listen to the Worst of the RIOT podcast a second time at 80% speed if you wake up in the middle of the night. I like that.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
And that's our 2 cents.
Find more Riot content online. riot.radiou.com.
I don't know if you've seen this going around on the socials as of late, but there's a trend that's going on called resentment reels. And what a resentment reel is basically people complaining. They'll make posts on TikTok and Instagram lamenting the fact that they put all this effort into their other posts. Maybe it's even their job. Maybe they're supposed to be a content creator for their business or whatever. and they put all this effort into it and it still gets no views. And so you post a whole reel complaining about that. And then the reel complaining about how you don't get views is the one that gets views and likes.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But what do you want us to say? Like, we're sorry?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's our fault.
Am I supposed to feel bad for you?
I think the resentment is not towards the audience as much as it is, and we can speak to this because we're content creators too, but it's less towards the audience. I think many people are resentful towards the algorithms.
They think that their content is better than the views they're getting.
Yes.
I think everybody thinks that.
Everybody thinks that. But when it's tough when you're getting paid, when it's your job, and when some people, when it's part of your job, but really your job is like a lot of people that are doing this, they're like, they work at a bakery and I'm a baker, but also part of my job to grow the bakery business is to show me baking. And I put all this effort into making my baking visually appealing for TikTok. And then I post that on TikTok and it gets nowhere. You can understand why people are getting upset. You'd think that would be working out, but it is true. Maybe you're just not doing what the algorithm likes.
Well, if it was so easy for everyone to get views, then everybody would get views.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, sometimes your content is not viable for Reels or TikTok. And oddly enough, I think if it is good enough, then in time, you will get the views you are searching for if you're consistent.
I believe that too. I believe that as a creator, as an entertainer, you keep making content that you believe in, and eventually it'll work out. I believe eventually it'll work out for us, Isaiah, one day. But I understand the frustration because it is true. And we know this too. Nene does a lot of the editing around here for videos. You can pour all the, and the funny thing is, and this is borne out completely with these resentment reels, is that you can put all this time and effort into something that you really think is good, and then it just goes nowhere. And then there's other things that you're like, well, I'll just throw this out there. It might be good. It might be not. And then that's the thing that for some reason catches on. You just never know. You don't know, which means the answer is just keep post. Just post so much. Post more than you could possibly imagine, because the more things you post on there, the better the odds that one of them strikes a chord with people. And more importantly, the algorithm picks up on.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.